Welcome back, everybody. I am Cassie J, and I am here, you guys, today to talk to you about this happily ever after 90-day fiance. Listen, we moving right along with the season. This episode was a little bit good. Like Kalani and Suelo, they gave us a little something to talk about. So I'm gonna save them for the end. We're gonna get through the little nonsense with everybody else. But I'm excited to talk about that couple because they had a little bit of something going on today. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Angela and Michael. So Michael's sister sat down and talked to him and was basically like, so what are you going to do if Angela cannot have a baby? Because in their culture, like, kids is really a big deal. Like, I need you to have a baby. And you already finally got your blessing from your mom. And that was basically kind of on the basis that Angela convinced her that, okay, I can have a baby. But if she cannot, in our culture, we are allowed to have more than one wife. Is Angela okay with that? Michael was like, no, she's not okay. Like, she's not going to let me have more than one wife. And his sister was like, well, would she be okay with it if it's just so that you can have the child? Would she let you at least just have a second wife or a concubine just for the purpose of the baby? And he's just like, no, she's not okay with that. And his sister basically was like, listen, if she can't accept the culture for what it is and accept you for who you are, and if she cannot come up to par and meet the standards that are required to be with a Nigerian man, you might need to reconsider. But his friends had already told him that. His mom had already told him that. Everybody has already told him this. He ain't really feeling that. So this is the woman he chose to be with. This is the woman he loves. So we all just kind of got to get on board with it and see how this goes. Now, Angela goes and she's tuxedo shopping because she has told Michael that she wants him to wear a tuxedo when they have their their wedding when she goes back to Nigeria. So while she's out there tuxedo shopping, she invites her friend JoJo to basically try to convince her and sway her to be her witness for the wedding because Skylar has backed out. So she's letting her know all her woes and what was me stories and what she's been going through, trying to get this whole wedding together and all this together with Michael. And she lets her know that Skylar hasn't agreed to go, and if Skylar doesn't go and if she can't get anybody else to go as a witness, she needs somebody from the States, that all of this planning and all of this stress that she's went through would be for nothing. So JoJo was basically saying, I will go because I love you and I want you to be happy. But when I get down there, I do want to talk to Michael because, like, you're my friend and none of us have met him. And I really want to know what he's about. That made Angela's day. She was happy. They left the store. She was, on cloud 9. She goes home. She lets the grandkids know, hey, grandma is going to go marry Grandpa Michael. But I'm sorry to let you guys know you won't be there because it's going to be in Nigeria. And of course the kids were a little sad because, they don't know because they're kids. They don't know what exactly is going on. But they have seen her planning this wedding and they understand that this is like a big thing and they want to be a part of it. But she basically was telling them that right now you're not going to be able to be a part of it at this moment. Finally, Angela does go to the doctor and she has her biopsy, her endo biopsy, to get the tissue tested in her uterus to make sure that what they see in there isn't any kind of cancerous cells or anything, because she does have a family history of cancer. The doctor did let her know it'll take about a week to get the results back and they can call her on FaceTime since she will be out of the country. She's hoping that it's nothing, but they'll find out in about a week. Angela was so, frantic and just, so uncomfortable during the test that they had to give her nitrous oxide, aka laughing gas, because she just was acting like it was just so uncomfortable and it was hurting so bad. And the doctor was like, we don't normally have to give people this laughing gas, during this procedures, but for you, we will. Now, I'm going to move on to Paul and Corinne because they didn't do a whole lot this episode. Literally, all they showed Paul and Corinne do was go to pick up this little raggedy car. And I mean raggedy. The car was at his mama's house. Mama left him the key, but took the house key off and said, you cannot even come in the house to get your stuff that you have in the house. Like, you can't do it until I'm there. Let me know and we can make arrangements and you can come pick up your stuff. But you're not going to be walking through my house while I'm not there because I don't trust you. You sounds kind of crackheady. Kind of like you've been doing some drugs and you don't pawn my TV or something. That's how that sound. Your mama won't even let you have a house key. Who mama and daddy won't let them have a house key to their house? You done something more than just be irresponsible. Like, you just didn't have no job. I feel like you stole some stuff from your mama and daddy before. But nonetheless, Corinne was upset because she was just like, why can't we go in the house? And he explained, I don't have a key. Mama don't, she didn't give me a key. And he's aggravated, like, I don't understand why she doesn't trust me. You know why your mama don't trust you. You just trying to make yourself look good in Corinne's eyes because you want thin ice with her. The car has junk and trash. He threw out some fries, some old fries. And Corinne was like, the car is a mess. This is messy. And he was like, we've had worse cars back when we were, at home with you. And she was like, I know she's thinking in her head, like, yeah, but like my country is poor. Your country is rich. Why are you riding around in this dust bucket? Like, I don't get it. What is happening? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And it didn't. It didn't make any sense. It just furthers the point of what his mom was saying. He's just irresponsible. And she was basically like, if he don't get it together, we gotta go. Me and the baby gonna have to go back home because I don't want to be here. Your parents don't want to support us. You can't support us. We don't need to be here. Now, Elizabeth and Andre, like I keep saying, I'm gonna call him Andre. They make it to Moldova, and of course his family was happy to see the baby and see him because it's been a while. And they all sit down and they're having family dinner, and Andre asks his family to I think it was his cousin to be the godparents to the baby. Now, Elizabeth asks, because this being a different culture, what exactly does that mean in your culture? Because in the U.S., and depending on families and everything else, being godparents is a special thing, but it doesn't mean a whole lot to different people. It's just kind of like something, it's like tradition. It's something we do. You have a godparent. I have godparents. And, I mean, it does mean something, but some people just something, like I said, they just do it out of tradition. So he was like, so what does it mean exactly to have them as godparents? And they said, it is a big thing in our culture. It's like second parents. They help with the wedding. They have a part in planning our wedding and all this, that, and the third. So I could tell that it bothered Elizabeth a little bit because she was like, oh, I wish you would have kind of consulted me with this. Once again, it's another decision that he's making, and he did not run it past her. He's just doing things like she is not a part of this relationship. So she goes and puts the baby down. And, before she puts the baby down, they asked her, Elizabeth, are you Christian? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm Christian. And they was like, well, have you been baptized? And she said she hadn't been baptized. And they was like, how are you Christian? You hadn't been baptized. And he was trying to explain, Andre was trying to explain to him, like, no, she grew up Christian, da-da-da-da. And they was like, well, it's important if you guys are going to get married that you have to get baptized here in our church. Because, we can't let you get married and you're not baptized. So again, she was upset because she's like, that was part of the reason why they were even there, was to, of course, have their wedding, but it was so that they could baptize the baby. So you knew that this was important. You knew it was something that you had to do, but you hadn't told her that your family was going to want me to be baptized. Why not? Why did you not tell me? I just don't like Andrea. I just don't like him. Like, he's very chauvinistic. He's just, he's entitled. Like, so, Elizabeth goes and puts the baby down to sleep. And while she's in the other room, Andrea was like, well, yeah, while she's out in the other room, I wanted to let you guys know about her family. They're traditional, they're typical Americans. They're very entitled. They're very proud Americans. They say what they want to say. I'm like, that sounds no different than you. Like, you seem like you're very much a part of your culture too. And you act like the traditional Moldovan, however they pronounce it, however they categorize themselves. So I'm like, I don't understand why you are coming at her family. It's just that you don't like how her family treats you, and they treat you that way because in America, it's like men go to work, men have jobs, men are the head of the household, and that's a part of being a man. Being the head of the household is you have to work. You're not doing that. So that's why you're getting flack from her family, because you're not stepping up to the plate and doing what you're supposed to do. Now, I do remember that his dad had came, and he had kind of checked him before about maybe the reason why they're treating you this way is because of the way you're acting. This is not how I raised you. And I could tell he was kind of sitting back looking at him like, okay, you back on this again? I thought I'd already told you before about stop doing that. Like, you need to carry yourself and act a certain way, and maybe they'll stop treating you like that. Now, I don't like him for that, because he does that a lot, because he tried to do that with his dad. When his dad came, he was trying to basically, well, let me go ahead and forewarn you. Let me go ahead and tell you about them. Instead of letting people form their own opinions, he's trying to put a seed in their head. So it's like, just stop. Now, Larissa goes to the immigration office because she gets a letter, and they requested her to come in, and her friend comes to pick her up, and her friend's like, okay, so what's this visit about? What's going on? And she was like, well, today I could get deported. And her friend was like, oh, I was unaware that this was that serious. Like, I thought this was just like, a quick in and out type visit. And she was like, no, it's really serious, and I need to give you my lawyer's number because if something happens, I need you to call my lawyer. So a friend was just kind of like, oh, so you don't even just to drop you off? She was like, no, I need you to stay. And in that moment, the friend was kind of like, she didn't realize what she had signed up for when she came to pick her up. She thought I was going to drop you off, go on about my day, and be able to come back and pick you up. And Larissa kind of got a little, I guess, agitated with her, and she made the comment, this is why I don't like talking about things with my American friends, because you guys don't realize how lucky you are. You don't have to deal with this kind of stuff. And I understood what she was saying, but in that same sense, it's like, Larissa, you're in this position because of your own actions too. So you can't be upset with your American friends, because like you got yourself in a situation. I mean, you did. So this is you kind of having to deal with the consequences of your actions, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not saying it is right, but it is unfortunately what it is. So don't get upset with somebody else because they're not going through what you're going through. And unfortunately, no, she can't relate. I mean, if she's a U.S. born citizen, no, she doesn't understand what it's like to be someone who has to look over their shoulders and waiting for, immigrations to come and get you. I know it's a stressful thing, but unfortunately, this was the decision that you made. You made the decision to come over to this country on a K-1 visa. You decided to marry somebody that you really did not have the best relationship with, and you knew that wasn't the best relationship, but you wanted to come over here so bad by any means necessary, and it did not work out. And you got into this volatile relationship, and you were arrested, and so on and so forth. And so now you put your status in jeopardy by having these altercations with him. Sorry, not sorry. Now, Colt finally goes home and tells his mother that he's dating. She was like, I figured that. But then he lets her know a little step further that not only am I dating, but I am dating a Brazilian woman. Naturally, she has concerns because she doesn't want him to go through the same thing he just went through with Larissa. Now, he goes and lets Jess know, I finally told my mother about you. She was happy. Finally, that's what I wanted you to do. You're stepping up. You're being a man. Great. However, he was like, Mom wants to come to Brazil with me when I come and visit you. She wasn't too happy about that, though. She was like, nah, I don't know about that part. So she throws him a curveball and lets him know, well, you know, while you're down here, you need to meet my dad. My dad is very important to me. His approval is really important. If he doesn't approve of you, like, I don't know if this is going to work. And he was just kind of like, well, you know, I love you and I really want to be with you. She was like, yeah, I mean, I hear you, but like, I love my dad more. It's basically what she said. She was like, I love him more than I love you. And if he doesn't like you, that's that. And I could tell that rubbed him the wrong way. I mean, nobody wants to hear, well, if I don't get so-and-so's approval, then we can't be together. Like, you don't want to hear that, but that's how she feels. Now, Colt invites Vanessa over. And Vanessa is the friend, his best friend. And he says that he invited her over for dinner to thank her for watching the cats while him and his mom go to Brazil. I don't know why a simple text message wasn't enough, or, you know, maybe you could have just sent her a card. I don't understand why you need to invite her over for dinner. But nonetheless, he invited her over for dinner. They were having dinner. They had sat down, and she asked about his trip to Chicago, and they started talking about Jess, and they asked him, did he give her any money? And he said, yes, he did give her some money. He paid for her ticket to Brazil. But then he told production that he also had given her about $1,000 over the course of their relationship for various things. It's starting to sound a little bit like Larissa here. Now, Vanessa and his mom are getting concerned, because it was like, it was one thing for you to be dating a girl from Brazil. That was one thing. But now to hear that you're giving her money, it's like, I see a pattern. Debbie likes Vanessa. And she said, I wish that Colt would be with somebody more like Vanessa instead of this new girl that she has not met yet. But the fact that she's Brazilian is enough. So the producers asked him, you know, are you and Vanessa just friends? Has it ever been anything more than that? And he was like, I mean, are you asking we have had sex? Yes, we had sex one time, but it was just that one time. That's a whole situation. That's a question that has been up for debate. You know, can you be friends with an ex? Can you be just friends with somebody you've had sex with? In his case, no, I do not feel like he can, because he's already said it. He was like, I've always had a crush on her. I still have a crush on her. So you still have interest there. So you don't want to be just her friend. But for now, you're selling with being just her friend because you are trying to pursue a relationship with somebody else. But if this stuff don't work out between him and Jess, he gonna be knocking on Vanessa's door. So it's like, I don't understand why you're even... Colt's messy. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. Now, the last highlight for me of this show was Kalani and Suelo. Suelo has lost his mind. So, Suelo and Kalani have decided that they are not going to San Juan. More like Kalani has decided that she's not taking her kids. So naturally, Suelo was upset because he says that he feels like he's not the man of the house. He does not have any power, and he says so. His opinion doesn't matter. He gets outvoted. This is my thing. Like I said about Andre over there. When you work and you make decisions that the man of the household would make, then I will treat you like the man of the household. But you're not doing that. The man of the household puts the family first, their safety. You put them as a priority. And Asuelo's not doing that. You work part-time. You go out and hang out with your friends. You're not helping me around the household. So you're not doing things that a man would do. So no, you're not the man of the household. You're just a male in the household. So they decide instead of going to San Juan, they're going to go to California for the weekend for Oliver's birthday. So they load up the car. It's Kalani, Asuelo, the two kids, and her mom. The dad is coming later. On the way down on the road, they were talking, and Asuelo was in a pissy mood, so he's trying to make the whole road trip just miserable for everybody. It's like misery loves company. If I'm having a bad time, if I'm in a bad mood, everybody's going to be in a bad mood. So he's just saying things and just making these obnoxious comments the whole trip. And then he brings up the comment of, well, Kalani makes the comment of, do you think that, what I do as a mother is an easy job, And he was like, you don't do anything as a mother. He was like, it's just the machines that do everything. He was like, you wash clothes, a machine does that. You wash dishes, a machine does that. You do this. He said, even the kids, you can turn on the TV. That's another machine. The mothers in San Juan, they do everything by hand. You don't really do any work. The machines do all the work. So yes, being a mom is easy. And I'm just looking at the screen like, is he serious right now? Being a mom is easy? She was like, being a mom is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 job. I am an adult. I am grown right now. And my mom is still my mom to this day. Like, I still call my mom and I'd be like, Mommy, I need you. Like, I'm grown. So, it don't stop at 18. It don't stop at 25. It don't stop at 35. It don't stop at 40. It don't stop until the day my mama goes in the ground. Like, that's the day it'll stop for her. And so, he's just going in. And then he gets upset, and then he calls Kalani a lying bitch. Mind you, her mother's still in the car. And so her mom gets upset and was just like, I don't like the way you're talking to my daughter. I don't like the way you're talking to her. Also, in the fact that you're doing this in front of me is even more disrespectful. And then he kind of pops off at the mom and was like, basically kind of like, mind your business. This is my wife. And I'll talk to her any kind of way I want to in front of whoever I want to talk to her in front of. Mom was like, okay, I want you to keep that same energy when her dad comes around. When her dad is here, I want you to have that same energy. I want you to keep that same tone. I want you to use those same words when he here. And he was like, okay. But when they get to the house, him and Kalani have another conversation, little interaction, and next thing you know, he come back in the house, he get his little bags, and he get on a bus, and he leave. That's because he knew once her dad got there that it was gonna be a problem, and he didn't want that smoke. He didn't want them problems. And so the producers is chasing him down the street and like, where you going, sir? what you doing? He's get the mic off me. Get the mic off me. I'm leaving. With his flip-flops on. And I'm like, sir, you're in California. Where are you going? He said, I'm going with her. Talking to the bus driver like he know her. Like that's his homegirl from round the way. And they said, back to Utah? He was like, yeah. Listen here, Dodo Bird. The bus is not going to take you back to Utah. You're in California. The bus route in California does not run to Utah. The train does. The bus this dummy. This dumb. But because you such the man of the household and you know everything, you don't ran out the house and don't want to tell your wife where you going. She could have probably told you that because she is from here and she would have been able to tell you, sir, you can't get on the bus and get back to Utah. You can take the bus to the train station and get on the train and get back to Utah. Yes, but you cannot get on the bus and get all the way back to Utah. I hope this bus driver, your homegirl, lets you know that. So, I'm not really here for none of these couples on this seat. Like, none of these people. I mean, Angela and Michael haven't irritated me like that. You know, not really. Colt, yeah, I'm not here. Look, they make me want to take my earrings off. Like, but they all just at some point irritate my spirit. But I'm gonna keep on keeping because you know they started to spark here, spark. So yeah, we gonna keep it moving, keep it pushing, and you know. This next episode next week, like it's gonna be good because it look like Kalani Daddy coming through like, oh, things can get real ugly. I can make it ugly. So I'm ready to see the ugly side. So, to the next review, you guys, keep liking, subscribing, and sharing and all that great stuff that makes YouTubes and stuff grow. I appreciate it all. Love you guys. Bye.